Welcome, everybody, again. It's so great to see such a big crowd out tonight. You're in for a real treat. The lady who came to early this year before the conference to share with us a little bit more about the Haiti Education Foundation is here tonight. She met with the men of the church this morning, did a fabulous job. She's meeting with the ladies of the church tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock right here in this room, and looking forward to that too. She really liked the idea of coming for dinner, and she's a member of the Clean Plate Club, so I can attest to the fact that she really liked the dinner. We are exceedingly blessed to have her join us. You may not know this, but the Haiti Education Foundation has been one of the missions that we have supported since the very first World Mission Conference, 27. This is our 27th consecutive year. This woman has been in charge of that operation, having taken it over from the woman who started it all in her home church at a Presbyterian church in Arkansas. And basically, she's been doing that for 25 plus years. Incredible dedication to the children of Haiti, who, as you know, are going through real challenges. The whole country is going through real challenges, and you'll hear a little bit more about it. But this is a mission activity that we're very proud of. This church not only has been supporting it for all those years, out of the $100,000 goal that we have, about 20 goes to supporting our school. And we have a school that we pay the teacher's salary. You'll hear all about that school. It's a great school, a lot of kids, a real important part of the community, the villages that are served. An incredible story. And they're with God's protection, everybody's still doing well. They're up in the mountains where it's hard to get to. It's very difficult, generally, period. And there's nothing there to steal. So the gangs stay at Port-au-Prince and elsewhere, and that's great, so long as they can stay there. You'll hear more about it, but please welcome Susan Tuberville.
Good evening. I am a member of the Clean Plate Club, and I bet a bunch of y'all are too. That was a delicious meal tonight. The mission of the Haiti Education Foundation is to educate children living in the mountains of southern Haiti. And our objective is to help Haitians help themselves. So in a gathering very similar to this one tonight, our founder, Frances, and her husband, Gardner Landers, heard of a need in Haiti. It was the fall of 1977, and the need was for doctors to come and perform cataract surgery on the many people who were going blind, even at very young ages in Haiti. Gardner was an ophthalmologist, and he was quite adept at doing these surgeries. It was one of his favorite surgeries to perform. But never had he really considered going on a mission trip. On the way home from that event that night, Frances and Gardner discussed the possibilities, and a few days later, they were signed up for a week-long trip at the Hospital St. Croix in Léogâne, Haiti. They were both 64 years old at the time. Arriving, they found that the line of patients wrapped all the way around the block. Sorry, I lost my place. And this was the case each day that they were there. The need was obviously great for his services. Frances and Gardner determined by the end of the week that they must return, and they did for the next 10 years. They visited 2 times a year until Gardner retired from his practice in 1988. And while working with Gardner at the hospital, Frances met the hospital chaplain, Père Wilfred Albert, a Haitian priest, who challenged her with the idea that the greatest need for the future of Haiti was education. Frances A mother, grandmother, and former elementary school teacher could not disagree. Père Albert took Frances on a little field trip to a little village close by where there was no school, nothing for the children to do, and she could well see the hopelessness and the despair. She took photos and she returned to the States. Of course, she went straight to the women of the church in her circle, her family, her friends, and anyone who would listen about the need to build a school. And she gradually raised the funds to build that school. Later, she revisited the village, and the whole landscape had changed. There was a beautiful building, and children had on uniforms with books, chalkboards, and the teachers were all proudly standing in the doorways. In her opinion, mission accomplished. And that's what she thought. But in truth, her mission had just begun. Over the next 12 years, Frances and Père Albert established the Haiti Education Foundation, whose mission continues today. Our focus, as I said earlier, is to educate those children in the remote mountains. And also, as established many years ago, 100% of all of our donations are used as designated by the donor. Any operational expenses that we have are paid through specifically designated funds. We have been present in the mountains of Haiti for 37 years, and today we sponsor 34 schools, educating over 7,000 students a year. We pay the salaries of 650 teachers and staff each month. Our schools are overseen by 5 priests, Episcopal priests, who act as the superintendents. And we work closely with our liaison, Auntie Filzame. 28 years ago, a former member of this church, Matt McGowan, and his wife, Louise, happened to be visiting a small church in South Arkansas. Frances Landers happened to be speaking about the Haiti Education Foundation that day. Matt took interest. He brought information back to this church, and the rest is history. Frances attended the first World Mission Conference in, I believe, 1999. Would that be the date? And always enjoyed visits to this church each year, and we've been represented here every year. Now, as Ed said, for 27 years, this church has partnered with HEF to bring education to the children of Haiti, specifically the children at St. Joseph de Arimathie School in Pillard. The drive to that school is long and bumpy, but well worth it. Pillard is literally a wide place in the road. The school is really the only indicator of a village, with the exception of a few houses along the way. Prior to the earthquake, St. Joseph de Arimathie was a 2-story cinder block structure. Beside the school stood a tall cinder block church, and as a centerpiece of the small community, the campus was always full of activity. That church was built by this congregation that school in 1990. In January of 2010, at approximately 4:30 in the afternoon, the earth shook violently, completely destroying that 2-story school. It left the church in a very unsafe condition. Fortunately, no one was in either of the buildings, and none of the children were hurt or killed, none of the teachers. But this terrible earthquake left that community devastated. This was the only word that I can think of to describe the feelings all the people across Haiti felt. The principal, Joseph Pierre Louis Plaisir, who's still the principal today, unfortunately lost his daughter, who was attending college in downtown Port-au-Prince. Yet, he pulled himself together, and he pulled that community together, and by hand, they removed the rubble from that foundation. because they knew, they believed, they had faith in the fact that another church or another school would be built on that property. And you know what? That's exactly what happened. A contingent visited the site in 2012. Plans were discussed and finalized, and fundraising was achieved. A construction team formed, and the new school was built in 2017. And it is a beautifully well-arranged building with a very popular breezeway. And I have some pictures from that big adventure. You might recognize a few faces. You can see, Jack loved that baby. But you can see the structure as it was brought up alongside the people from the church. The Haitians worked. And today it's just a beautiful, beautiful building in the village of Pillard. Sean, do you or Jack have anything you want to say about that adventure? I don't know where Sean is. It was a great day. Or anyone else?
Greg is here, and Brian Tuller's here as well.
Yeah.
Greg Lloyd.
Yeah, there you are.
He was our leader.
Yes, fearless leader. It was a great day in Pillard. You can see it was all delivered in a container, an 18-wheeler container, and there wasn't a piece missing. The truck had to be unloaded in order for the container to get the pieces where they needed to be. And I don't think there was a missing piece by the time it got to the mountain where they were building the building.
We should say that this church raised $225,000 apart from the World Mission Conference Fund to build this school. And we approached it twice. The first design required water, and we couldn't get a well to produce water. So Jack and company had to go back to square one, and they came up with a metal building.
Yes.
And that's what we helped build subsequently. But you talk about God leading our hearts.
That's
and
right.
Our first challenge not met, second challenge met.
That's right.
And it's wonderful.
It is. It's a wonderful story. I love the faith that the people showed, and I love what you were able to do. This congregation was able to do. I always say, we're the hands and feet of Jesus, and a light really shone in that community, and it still shines today. So. Now I've got some pictures of your school today. These pictures, a lot of them, there are a couple of pictures that I've had for a while, but a lot of these were taken just the other day. And these are your students, your principal walking down the little hallway, the beautiful breezeway. And just take a minute and look at what that breezeway looks out on. This is a very popular spot. There's not a lot of shade on the school grounds, so to have a breezeway, I've seen them jumping rope and doing all kinds of things in this little breezeway. Those are your kindergartners. They are in a building just off to the side of where the elementary, the metal structure is situated, but you've got lots of kindergartners and then 1st through 6th graders, their classrooms with their teachers. They learn their curriculum is much like the curriculum that we have in the States. It's reading, spelling, math, science, history, just the regular classes that we have. And then, of course, there are Christian education classes that are taught at every school, including yours. This is from just the other day. It's just incredible. These are your 7th through 9th grade students. 234 students, 21 teachers, and staff members that are paid on a regular basis, 12 months of the year, on a monthly basis. So what you do through your partnership is that you pay the salaries for these teachers. And you'll see that the children at this school are provided a meal by one of our partners and one of the presenters that will be here, hopefully on Saturday, Trinity Hope Feeding Programs. You take care of a meal every day for our students and teachers and staff. For many, this is the only meal that they will receive in a day. So as you can imagine, this meal program is very important. We know that hungry children can't learn, nor hungry teachers teach to the very best of their ability. So we are so thankful that you support the feeding program. Fortunately, throughout all of our schools, there's the feeding program is at each of our schools. The teachers and staff at your school, they are from that community. With the exception of the teachers in the 7th through 9th grade program, usually they travel from school to school. They live in the region, but they travel from, one 7th through 9th grade program to another. They have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule or a Tuesday, Thursday so that they can kind of make their rounds. So each Sunday, the members of the Pillard community gather at the school for a church service, and Mr. Plaisir is the lay minister at that church. He and the other members of the church lead the worship service. As you may know, voodoo is practiced throughout the country. As Francis and Francis and Père Albert established the Haiti Education Foundation, the undergirding purpose of this was to teach more people to read so that it would bolster the church. As Père Albert was planting churches, he needed people to be able to read the Bible so that, he could really get the churches up and going. So not only did it, provide education for the children, but interestingly enough, the children would go home and teach their parents. They often, we heard so many times and saw pictures of the children with a line of adults sitting in front of them, and they were teaching what they had learned that day at school. So it just was the gift that kept on giving. And today the churches in the communities are strong, and the voodoo as Christianity comes into a community, the voodoo is weeded out. The people see that what they had been investing in as far as their faith was concerned really isn't what is making a difference in their life. It's knowing Jesus Christ. So it has made a huge difference in the communities. It really has given them true hope. So your support of St. Joseph the Arimathea is not just helping kids get an education. Your hearts are connected as you provide for them in a much deeper way. You are investing in their eternity by providing Christian education and a place to worship. That church is supported by a community that is formed because there's an active and vibrant school. The church is supported financially by the teachers and the staff that attend there who have reliable jobs. because they know they're going to be paid on a monthly basis. The future of the church is built on the fact that parents are bringing their children to church and raising another generation of believers. Heart to heart, heart by heart. Without a doubt, there are many hardships in Haiti. The news, when there's time to report about Haiti, tells of the gangs, the economic failures, and of course, tropical storms and hurricanes that regularly plague the island. But the people are overcomers. They are resilient, and we see this time and again. Through your partnership with HEF and Trinity Hope, you are the hands and feet of Jesus in Pillard. As you continue to sponsor the work there, the people have the hope of a better day. You know, regardless of where we are physically, our needs are all very much alike. Food for the body, mind, and soul. You are joining and helping them meet those basic needs. Your consistency gives them courage to meet their challenges that are ahead, as seen when the community removed the rubble after the earthquake. You are joined heart to heart. I want to thank you very much for what you do. It's making a difference each and every day. Lives and the future and their futures of these children are changed every day. One thing that I'd like to bring up, your funding makes a huge difference to us, but we also ask for your prayers. Life is very difficult and sometimes feels so heavy in Haiti. And the greatest thing that you can do just takes a small moment of your time. God knows what they need. All you have to do is lift them up. And I pray that will be something that you will do, that you will take the time and just lift Haiti up. Lift the children of your school up. Lift the teachers up. Lift the principal up as he goes about his work in the school or at that Sunday worship service when he has an opportunity to share the hope of Jesus Christ. That's what's going to make a difference in the lives of these kids. We happen to have a prayer team that there's another lady that is on our board, and she puts together a little prayer sheet once or twice a month. And if you would like to be part of that, or if you're in a group that would be willing to mention HEF, like in the ladies' Bible class or the men's Bible class, I would love to send you that email, or if you want to do it privately at home. It actually ends up being a little update on what's going on in Haiti in general. But it's brief. We are a very small grassroots organization. We will never sell your email address or anything like that. And I promise we won't bombard you with any crazy things. So if you would join me in doing that, I would really appreciate it. On your tables, there's a photograph. It's our Christmas card from this year. And I just want to point it out because I really love this picture. Yeah, go ahead. This is one of the small schools. This isn't your school, as you can tell from the photographs that I've showed you. But this is an example of another. We have schools in all different forms. But this is a little school. You can kind of tell it's out in the middle of nowhere. But I think it just so well shows what we're all about. I ask the priests from time to time if they'll just go out and snap some photographs for me. I like to have them for things such as this, and it's just a way of connecting. But I love how professionally those teachers are dressed. I love how proudly they stand to have their picture made. Education is a big deal. I love in the right top corner where you can see the parents standing over at the side, peering, watching to see what's going on. They've walked with their kids to school that morning. They've made sure they've gotten there safely, and they'll be there to pick them up. I love the little girl in the second row on the right. You can tell that she's got on somebody's dress, a hand-me-down. I love that. There's great pride in putting on that uniform. There's great pride because that's their hope. That's their promise. So I leave you with that, and I thank you very much for all that you do. It's making a difference. So thank you. Are there any questions? Because I like to hear what you're curious about.
Marlena.
Okay. They, well, first of all, our kids, these families are mainly farm families. So before they go to school, they've probably gotten up and taken animals someplace to eat for the day. They'll tie their goats or their farm animals up somewhere so that they have a place to eat. And then they could walk for, an hour. I mean, in some cases, they go to the school nearest where they live. So some will walk quite a ways. But it is not a drudgery. It is social hour. So they enjoy the walk. They walk everywhere. There is a tap-tap, which is a public kind of form of transportation, but usually those are used for carrying like their stuff, their heavy things to a market or, a really long way away. Sometimes the kids, if their parents have a motorcycle, you can see as many as 5 people on a motorcycle, which is really scary. Sometimes they get there that way, but most of the time you'll see them walking. So, Anybody else?
Share with them what we talked about the men, the relationship between the Episcopal Church and the Presbyterians.
Okay, so our schools are all Episcopal schools. Way back when, way before I became a part of this, the Presbyterians, in going into Haiti, they just made an agreement with the Episcopal Church of Haiti. Rather than Presbyterians coming in and establishing Presbyterian schools and Presbyterian churches, they had an agreement where they would just work through the Episcopal Church because the Episcopal Church was already established. So it just made better sense to work through what was already there. And so I really can't say that I've ever seen like a Presbyterian church in Haiti. It's always combined with the Episcopal Church of Haiti.
If you look on the website, there are more Presbyterian churches who are doing
Yeah. Right. So we do have more Presbyterian donors because when Frances started raising money to fund these schools, she went to her circle, and then into circles in and around South Arkansas and North Louisiana. But as the need grew, she would go further, reach out further. And then people like Matt McGowan, who happened to be in Junction City, Arkansas, visiting his daughter's church, he came back here. And so it's really spread kind of organically and pretty much across the United States.
Everything is taught
In Creole. Creole is the language. Creole is the...
reason for us English-speaking Presbyterians to work through an existing
Right.
physical structure.
That's right. That's right. The business language is French, so that is taught particularly in our high schools. But if there's a teacher in the elementary area that's willing to teach, then they learn that.
I was going to ask, with some of these children, are they able to go further in their education? Do some get to go to Port-au-Prince or,
Right.
do they get to-
Right. So, yes, there is a Père Albert University scholarship, and we have 23 recipients at this point who are either in a university program or a trade school program. That is just a small group of who actually end up going. We were fortunate enough to be able to put together that scholarship so that we can award that to the top 4 students each year. We have several who are in nursing school at this time, some in business school, and then, like I said, some who are in trade school. There was a time when more of the kids had an opportunity to go to a university program in Port-au-Prince, but with the gangs, it kind of scattered things. So the Haitians are overcomers, and when the universities were shut down because of gang violence in Port-au-Prince, the ones that had wherewithal picked up and moved to areas that were not affected by the gangs. So the nursing school that our people are in right now is in Léogâne, and it's always been in an area that's out and not affected by the gangs. So they've just kind of monitor and adjust. But I was telling the men this morning, we have professionals all over Haiti and throughout the United States. I talked to a young man this afternoon who he's living in Canada now, and he's a computer tech and very successful. And the really neat thing that he was telling me about is that he and a group of former graduates from our school, HEF schools, a lot of them stay in Haiti, but there are some that have gone, like I said, that are in Canada or France or the United States, but they still communicate as former classmates. But they've put together an organization to help do some special things at their home school, where they grew up. And it's just, I told him, I was like, this is what this is all about. Because what they want to do is they want to give back to the communities that they came from. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. At one point, 10% of the Episcopal priests that were active in Haiti had come through our schools. A lot of our teachers are former students. There's a little clinic that's located in Sheridan, which is by our guest house, and the doctor there is a former graduate of our school. So, that's just a small number of the success stories. They're successful people, kids that got to reach their greatest potential because we took a chance and gave them an opportunity to learn in Haiti. So that's exciting to me. see them succeed. Are there any other? Okay.
It's a wonderful story. What's the greatest need that you have now?
The greatest need we have now, now and forever, is securing money to make sure that these teachers are paid so that we can teach kids. It's real easy to put an American slant on this, and you feel like you've got to have the perfect learning environment. But what we see in Haiti, they need paper, pencil, and pen, because you only write with a pencil when you're in kindergarten. Paper, pen, chalkboard, teacher. That's all. They can teach anything with that. So, and if we can't pay our teachers, that negates any fancy building. We do want to provide the very best learning environment we can. That is important. But if we can't pay teachers, those buildings are empty. So we want to continue to pay our teachers.
And you told them this morning you've never missed a payroll.
We have never missed payroll.
That's not the
Yeah,
case
right.
elsewhere in the country.
That's right. Well, and in Haiti, a lot of people work hoping to be paid, and that's tough. If you work for HEF, you don't have to hope you get paid. We're gonna pay, and they know that, and so it's a good deal to work for the Haiti Education Foundation. So no, we're working on that. We work to keep that coffer full. That's something we need to work on. Yeah, it's a good question.
The only ministry that we support that does not have an overhead fee.
That's right.
Comes off the top of the gift. Because everybody has to have some administrative costs absorbed to get this work done. But to have 100% of our money go to the program, go to paying the
That's right.
teachers, helping the kids with paper, pens, uniforms,
Right,
food.
right, right.
That's amazing and absolutely essential.
That's
And
right.
tell them about how your board basically agreed that we needed to raise the teacher.
That's right. Teacher salary. In September, we raised the salaries for the teachers. And that was a big undertaking. It increased what we have to raise by about $150,000. So we stepped out in faith on that, but there was great joy because we want to do what's right by our teachers and our staff. It has been because we know what it's done to our pocketbooks in the grocery store, and see basically anything that they get comes from the United States. So, but for the fact that they have the opportunity to grow their own food, it is very expensive. It's a hardship. Let's just say that. It's a hardship. But let me say this too. They are overcomers. They are a happy people. I wish that we could have the joy that they have. They're very relational, and I think it's something to work towards. They're very relational. They share each other's burdens. If you see them coming down the street or down the road, they're usually they're touching each other. They're just very relational because they suffer together. So of course, if you suffer with somebody, it's just a whole different closeness, a whole different relationship, and it's quite it's beautiful. It's wonderful. Yes, ma'am.
Can you share what is the average salary of your teachers?
Of a teacher.
Yes.
They, the average salary is about $100 a month.
And for how many months?
12 months of the year. And we go by what what everybody else. Actually, we're a little higher than some of the surrounding schools. So so if you're a kindergarten teacher, you have to have a degree, because they want to make sure those kindergartners have a good, strong foundation. If you're first grade through sixth grade, you can have a high school degree, have graduated high school. But when it gets seventh through ninth grade and higher, you have to have a college degree. So, and remembering that these are very rural schools. These aren't city. These aren't located in or near any large cities. So we feel very blessed to have the staff that we have. Our kids, in order to pass the next grade, they have to pass an end of year exam that is required by the Haitian Department of Education. So there is rigor in what they do. And I think that we can see the benefit of that in what we're able to turn out. Not every kid is going to come out and go to a college or go on to be a professional. But, that doesn't even happen in the United States. So we're very thankful when there are kids that want to do more and want to reach higher and have that success.
Let us thank Susan for it's a great program. This is a great church. Many of us who have been here for any length of time have never experienced a church like this. The caring, the love that we have for our neighbors, wherever those neighbors are, whether it's Haiti or locally here in Gainesville or wherever they are, we are the hands, feet, and heart of Jesus Christ in this world. And for that, we are a blessed congregation. And as Jesus asked us to do, and as the Bible asks us to do, if you're blessed, we need to become a blessing to others in need especially. And there are a lot of people in this world who need assistance. And we have the wherewithal to do that, and we do it generously, and we do it lovingly. And for that, we're thankful. And we're thankful that Matt McGowan discovered this wonderful program so many years, as so many other things that Matt brought to this church. It was a blessing. God was at work. God is alive. And for that, we are truly thankful. Let us say a quick prayer and end the evening. And before we go to, there's packets of cards, and some of them are sitting over there at the table too. You're welcome to take them. They're from a previous World Mission Conference, and Thomas was anxious to empty the closet. So feel free to take those with you. Okay, let us say a quick prayer. Our Heavenly Father, you have been with us from square one. There's so many challenges that the Christian church has encountered, that Jesus encountered from the very beginning of all this. Holy Spirit has guided us. Holy Spirit has entered our hearts. Holy Spirit has helped these people like Haiti Education Foundation, help so many others, especially important to the young children. Wonderful stories here of how those kids are helping their parents and the whole community come together. And for that, this is a wonderful reward for the time, the energy that everybody has put into this important ministry. Continue to guide us, continue to protect these children and their teachers and these communities, these villages. Help Haiti become a better place. Help the people rise up and say, it's time for us to get back into control, and it's time to make this a safer country, a more prosperous country, a country that hopefully is increasingly following in your work and your will, as Jesus has taught us. In his name we pray, amen. Thank you all for being here.